It's an old beast that I got off eBay back in February of 2019, and I was going to clean it up. I've never seen one of these units before, and I've got a lot of old Philips and Norelco stuff. This is an AM/FM radio with a cassette unit in it, and it's filthy. There's dirt under that glass. There's dirt everywhere. It does have a good handle, and the antenna is complete with tip. It's missing the bright that goes over the channel station tuner, and the volume power knob just has a little red tape under it, so when you're turning it, and you do feel a detent when the power comes on, but all you see is a little red tape under there. They kind of cheaped out a little, not really an indicator. And as usual, everything is filthy under there. The screws are rusted. The function control lever is really, really stiff. So I'm going to have to try and grease that up and try and get it to work right. Because right now it just isn't. And I'm not getting any performance out of the unit at all with 5 D-cell batteries. The front's a mess, and here's the cassette unit. And it seems to be a mix of a couple different Philips styles. It's going to need some more investigation as to see exactly what it is. There's the battery compartment. The clip that holds the cover on is missing, so the unit has to be taped on, or the weight of the 5 D cells just causes them to spill out and knock the top off. So we'll have to fix that. Okay, well, it's been a couple months now, and I've gotten around to cleaning it up with what I could. The top, I had to remove the glass and clean all under that, and the knobs. And I sort of mocked up a replacement bright for the station selector knob. And I cleaned the screws while I had them out. I kind of unfroze this, but only for right to left switching. Unfortunately, I could not get this off. There is I can't really show it on camera very well, but there's a huge batch of rust under there, just mammoth. And I tried various liquid wrench removers. I tried all kinds of things, including percussive persuasion to try and get this off, and I couldn't. And because I couldn't get it off, I couldn't take the front off. Because I couldn't take the front off, I can't get into the cassette compartment. Now I'm sure what I would find in here is a mess of goo, but I kind of wanted to look more, because I have decided that this is not a cassette recorder. This is a cassette player. If I put the movement out, maybe you can see that there is no erase head there. The erase head has been not put on its mount, and that is a playback head, but it's a little slightly different than a record playback head. And let me show you the difference here. Here's a similar Norelco from 1965. You see it has an erase head mounted, and it has a record playback head. This differs from just the playback head on this unit. So I did not realize that when I got it, that this was only a player. Another clue as to the fact that it's a player only is the fact that the button, which is always red on Norelco and other recorders for recording, is white here. And what this does is just simply eject it. And if that wasn't enough for me, looking inside, there's no cassette recording protect mechanism in the back left. So this whole unit is just set up for playback. Okay, on the back you have some heat ventilation ductwork, and on the battery compartment cover Warning to remove used batteries immediately in English, French, Spanish, Dutch, and German. Covering all their bases, I guess. Here's the product tag that was buried deep in the battery compartment. Fell out eventually. 22RL573/44. Might be hard to read that. It's very difficult. Just for visual interest while we're making the video, I thought I'd put a original Norelco tape in. It's better than looking at that terrible old grill work. But you can see how the eject works. I've gone ahead and put batteries in it to show something, that recorders like this that have radio and cassette, when it's in cassette function, the power should be off. Now, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but there is hissing still coming out of the speaker. Whether this is on or off doesn't seem to affect it. There is power coming out of the speaker. There's audio coming out of the speaker. And I wasn't able to get a lot of the crud out, which is why I can't get that off. Around the right side of the machine, we have attachments for an external antenna, a microphone, and an external speaker. And I don't know what type of speaker would fit in there. I tried various things, including Norelco speakers I had, and none of them fit that. It looks almost like it'd take a female RCA phono plug, but it does not. Those are too big. So I don't know. But the antenna is a standard mount, and the microphone is standard. And I'm not sure what the year is on this manufacturer, but it's in kilocycles and megacycles. That probably puts it about 1967. Somewhere around 1968, most manufacturers kind of were switching to kilohertz and megahertz. So I found one ad, kind of, in a 1969 paper from a company that usually sold closeouts that was selling this. So it's probably going to be a couple years before that too. But I don't think this was a very popular model. I couldn't find anything out about it really. Okay, we'll try a little band scan here. We'll start on AM. See what we get, if anything.
Go on to defend the great. Oh wait, all you gotta do is
to see a person. Wait, what was? Or, you know, as always with any review article, it's always like, this is your best mountain bike, this would be your best road bike, this is your best...
Audio really pumps out.
Adventures are...
In a standard expressing his will for...
It's Sunday morning, if you can't tell.
That's bad. That's pretty bad over there. More I know those award shows where they say who wore the dress. Somebody in the city. Fourth quarter.
We've already hit the big part of our channel. Station selectors, that is. Most of them are grouped together at the high end of the band.
kills Jon Snow and
Who would argue? Nick Woj, somebody'd be like, that's it.
well, I guess that happened. Wow,
That is
crossover.
definitely it.
Wow, that's
so.
cool.
So I guess before we go, I'd have to ask you, Roy, so I wouldn't be doing my job. Do you have a prediction for what goes on in Game of Thrones tonight? Because by all accounts,
Am I the only person in the country or the world who has never seen Game of Thrones? Maybe I am. I think so sometimes.
172 times. And let me tell you something. He really given his.
over here instead. I'm not excited.
Los corazones ya después de algunos autos se me olvidará tu nombre.
Skin, muscle, fights
Well, that's
rhythms
probably
like
Cincinnati.
no other. And most of us have
WLW,
never
I think.
heard about all of this until today. So tell our listeners again how Asta
That's
Death
usually a sign
compares
that
to
I have an aim ready that gets pretty good reception, if I can pick that up. Be a little surprised if I got anything else. That's not a bad AM performer. Let me pull the antenna up and we'll try FM. Alright, let's see if there's anything on FM. We'll have to switch through a lot of music for copyright, of course.
WNTR HD1 Indianapolis, home of the 1,000.
We both know.
Black the match, riding on a horse.
Humility means pretty women trying to believe they're ugly. 24 seconds remaining, and in the sky, everybody's. My God. I'm doing great, man.
The weapons at Indiana State Police. The man.
On the opposition coalition are reported to have agreed in principle on a joint transitional council leading to the rest of
Maybe I enjoy the punishment. Maybe I enjoy the chase. You see, you love me in the darkness.
Well, I guess that's it. So, AM and FM bands work. We'll lower the antenna here. Well, it cleaned up 25% decent. At least this part cleaned up pretty well. Faceplate, I don't know what that white crap is, but it just won't go away. And unfortunately, this will not pull off. As much as I begged it and beat it. So no get that off, no get this surround off, no get into the cassette player and into the interior to check it out the way I usually like to do in my videos. But other than that, it's an interesting piece. I've never seen or heard of this model number. I'm glad I have it for my collection of Norelco products. And now that I know it exists, maybe someday I'll find a better example. So, Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye.